Alright, so this is going to be a product review for the water distiller that you're looking at here. And just as a disclaimer, I am not being sponsored by anybody. I am not being promoted or anything like that. This is simply me having bought this unit and just basically doing a review. So there's no sponsorships, there's no promotions or anything like that. I'm just simply reviewing this product that I purchased, and I'm just giving you a quick look at something that you might want to look into in the future if you ever decide to start drinking and using distilled water in your daily water consumption. Alright, so let's take a look at this a little closer, and we're going to do an unboxing and we'll go from there. Alright, so let's take a look at this water distiller and let's give it an open. Brand new from Amazon. Now, in general, I buy my water distilled already. It's just easier to do, but it's really not necessarily good for you because it's in the plastic, and that plastic does leach out into the water. So it's not necessarily really good for you. So upon opening this box, you have this, which I guess is the instructions. I'll just give you a quick look at it. Handling precautions, and probably written in 20 languages. Really not a complicated device. It's pretty easy. So let's give you an idea what's in there. Make sure you're zoomed out. I mean, you can always pause it. If you want, I'll give you like a snapshot of each page, and I'll include that at the end. I don't think that's necessarily necessary. There are cleaning instructions. It looks like you got to add some kind of acid to it. At the end, you know, once you're finally done with your distilling, you probably got to clean it. Water residual cleaner, yeah, you probably got to buy some cleaner, because it will leave deposits afterwards, and those deposits that it leaves is like concrete. You also get this glass bottle and manual. I guess that's like the right here. Looks kind of like a coffee pot. And these are just basic instructions, probably how to clean it and put it together. Alright, so we'll just give you a scan like that. That's all it looks like. That's what they give you. And then the other side looks like this. Alright, that's good enough for that. Pause the video if you want. If you want to read that. I'm not going to waste your time reading the entire thing. Let's take it out of this box. It comes in a nice little... Now, just a word of advice, anytime you buy anything from either Amazon or anybody, really, anytime you're buying a new... Don't throw the boxes out right away, and don't throw any of the packaging material out. I recommend keeping it around for at least the length of the return policy. It might be 30 days, it could be 60 days, it could be 90 days. You need to hold on to everything for at least that long. In the event you have to return the item for any reason. If anything goes wrong with it, you can just bring it back and you know, send it back or whatever. And they usually require 100% of the packing material be put back together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you definitely want to make sure that you get everything back in that box and sent back to them. Alright, so let's check out some of the products that are in there. Here's the citric acid, and I don't even know what this is, anhydrous? Citric acid anhydrous. I guess that's some kind of an acid. I don't know what. Maybe it's the form of it. I don't know. It's the cleaner though. You have to use a cleaner to eventually clean out. How many times do you got to use it? I don't know. I do not know. But it's basically just an unboxing is what we're doing here. And they give you a little package of these things, which I think are filters. Oh, you know what these are? This is a nice little distiller, by the way. I liked all the reviews I read on Amazon about it. There's always going to be bad reviews. Oh, this didn't work or that didn't work. And you got to weigh it out at face value. What I liked about the features of this distiller is they provide you with these little charcoal packs. That's what these are. And these charcoal packs, even though you distill water, the water still should be charcoal filtered, because there's certain things that can evaporate into water. Like, for example, alcohol will evaporate with water. Chlorine will evaporate with water. Trihalomethane will evaporate with water, and so on and so on. There's certain things that will actually evaporate with water, and those need to be removed separately. Though they're going to be in very small, minute amounts, because they're not going to be as concentrated in the water. It's going to be small. So these little packs of charcoal is just really all you need to remove any residual stuff that might be getting past or getting up into that distillation. So you got your little charcoal filters. Let's give this a necessary. And there it is. Look at that. That's how it comes. Look at that. Now this is definitely an investment worth doing, because I'm going to talk a little bit about water. I don't know if I'm going to put it at the beginning of the video or the end of the video. I'm shooting it in segments. Right now you're just seeing this part. But we're going to talk a little bit about water and what's in water and why you should distill or drink distilled water. I don't even recommend drinking filtered water or any of that stuff. That's all just as bad, really. Let's put this over here. And there is your little distiller. Now, where is my... Oh, there it is. Whoa! Alright, so I took the lid off. And that's what it looks like on the inside of the lid. It's a very simple device. Just a little tube there. Goes into a coil, causes it to condensate and drip out the other end. There's a fan motor up top, which cools that coil inside. You can see right here. Like, see right in there, there's a coil. You know, like in your air conditioning, you got that coil with the fins on it. That's how it cools it. It condensates. It's a very simple device. You could almost do this in your kitchen on a stainless steel pot and just distill your own water and do it. But it's so much work to do that. It's just not... You're not going to want to do that. Believe me when I tell you. I've been trying to distill my own water for a while. It's not the same as using a machine that actually produces the water for you. This is the cable that it comes with. We'll open that up. Very heavy gauged extension cord. This is probably 12 gauge on the wire, which would make sense because you're using a lot of watts and your amps are going to be kind of high. So you don't want to... The smaller the wire is, generally, the more amps you end up using, because the wire heats up, and when a wire heats up, it starts drawing more power. So the heavier cable actually is better. So they did give you a cable. You don't have to worry about drawing any excess energy. It's going to be as efficient as possible. I will do an update video on the product, how I like it down the road, because I'm just basically just setting it up for you and going to distill it for you. But down the road, I will do an energy thing to show you how much energy it's actually using based on my my electric costs and things like that. So I will do an update to it. This is just an unboxing just to show you what you will get when you order this particular product. Now, you can order the product like a white, I believe a black, a white. You can order it like that, any one of these three styles. And this is the big one. This is the really large one. The one I have isn't the super large one. I believe I got this one right here. To the right. You can get that one, or you can get this one. I believe the one in the middle is a little bit larger. Alright, so we got some goodies on the inside, which is probably something I'm going to have to put together, but I don't think you guys really want to watch me do all this, but we'll see what it is. Probably got to put the handle on it, and I'll do all that off camera and then come right back here. And basically in that box, what you get is the handle. Alright, that's one handle. I guess that's another handle. And I don't know exactly what this is yet, but we're going to find out. I guess it's the pour spout or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see what else we got in here. Got a lid in here that we can't get out because here's a lid that you get. I'll make sure you see all the stuff you get in here. Wow, that's incredible how they fit everything in there. That little box. Alright, so you're going to get one of these. So you get two straps. And there's a blue thing on here. You peel that off. It's just a coating. That's it. Here's the glass. Now be really careful with this thing, because you drop this, that's probably half the cost of this thing. There's some protective plastic. More of that foam. And that's it on the inside. That's all it looks like. Just a large container. That's it. And it boils that up and then makes steam. So it's a very simple product. It's all stainless steel. So that should be your parts list for everything in there. I'll give you a little closer look. Maybe we'll zoom you in a little bit. Should look something like that. These are all the parts. Alright? So now we're going to assemble it. Alright, so let's start with putting together the collection vessel, the pot. And I put one of these on first just to make sure I kind of understood how it went together. I didn't want to waste your time with me fumbling around with it. But I did put one of these on, and just so you know, it's not a big deal once you know how it goes together. It's pretty easy after that, but you do want to kind of make sure that you understand how it goes together, because I actually had to read a little bit of that in order for me to do this. Usually I can do it without instructions. Alright, so the first thing you want to do to get these straps on and in place is you want to remove this coloring stuff off of here. I did it to one. Yeah, this one's going to cause me a problem. You just want to make sure you remove that coating off of there. You don't want that on there. You can leave it on if you want, but the problem is when you leave these coatings on here, what I find is that if you put this thing in the dishwasher or something like that, or it's exposed to sunlight, after a while those coatings won't come off. So you definitely don't want to leave those coatings on. So next thing you want to do is just remove the screw from the strap. And you can see there's a nut on one side, and then on the other side there's just like a hook, kind of like that. Let's see if I can get you in there. See how it's kind of hooked? So you basically just want to put it around the pot and let them catch like that. And then that nut stays attached to the bottom. Very simple, really. They tell you to use pliers, but you could do it without pliers, as you can see right here. You know, you shouldn't have to need pliers. See, and once it catches, you're done. What you want to do now is just make sure that this part here is lined up with your spill part, because that is what your handle is going to get connected to. All right? So that is important. Let me take that out of there, by the way. So your handle is going to go like that. And you want to make sure it's pretty, you don't want it to be off to the side, you know what I mean? Unless you want that, you know. So generally, you got a lip on top. You want to make sure at least that first one's well lined up with it, you know. You can slide these around. See how I'm sliding it that way? And once you get your handle on, then you can kind of adjust it a little bit. And then basically from here, and basically what I'm doing here is I'm just putting this in here first, just to make life a little easier for me, I think, right? How am I going to look like a fool again here? Just drop that first screw in there anyway, just so you can get it caught. Kind of hard to do when you're like leaning on. Very simple, really, not a big deal. It's best to have magnetic screws. If you got a magnetic screwdriver, it's easier. And I do, I'm just too lazy to go and get it. Alright, just put your little screw in there. Right, you don't want to totally line it up yet. Make sure it's caught good enough so it doesn't fall out, because you're going to want to check your alignment, you know. It's going to annoy you if it's off a little bit. So see how I'm adjusting it? I'm adjusting it to that lip so it pours nice and easy. I kind of like that a little bit more, maybe this way, and that should do it. You don't want to kill it either. You do want it tight, but you don't want to kill it. That's it. That's a lot of water in there. And then, of course, you have this little handle thing, which just snaps in place. It doesn't screw on. Again, you're playing around with glass, so you want to make sure you're really, really careful. You don't have to worry about taking a sticker off the bottom. There's a sticker on the side. Don't worry about that sticker. What you do want to be really careful of is you don't want to drop that and crack that. I might even put some kind of a plastic protector on it, because you can see I'm going on top of glass all the time. I don't want to take a chance and break it, so I might put something on the bottom, like a pad or something, as long as if it doesn't interfere with the function of this. What are you doing on the table? Get off the table. I'm going to kick you out in the snow. And come on, I'm making a video here, Chico. The next thing we want to do is put the activated charcoal filter pad inside this little gizmo right here. Alright, and then we'll connect it to here, and then we'll put the rest of this together. So you just basically want to grab one of your charcoal pads, like so. Yes, I did read the instructions about this. You want to basically fold it in half. Basically, you want to stick this pad in there, like so. But you want to make sure, see there's a little hole on the bottom? Yeah, I'll show you in here. See on the inside? See that little hole there? You definitely want to make sure that you got charcoal bound up on, like, you know, you gotta have to separate the charcoal to get a nice even fold. But you want to make sure that that charcoal is definitely over that hole. Alright, I have no choice but to stuff it in there like that. They say to just fold it in half and let it, just leave it loose. It's not working that way for me. But if you stuff it where that hole is kind of not clogged, but just over the hole, you're definitely going to be filtering that water through the charcoal. So then the next thing you want to do is just simply connect it like that, and that's all it is. That's all that little thing is. Now, I don't know how many filtrations you can get out of that. I guess 1, 2, 3, you know, and then you're going to have to change it and put another charcoal filter in there, or you don't have to use the charcoal at all. If you've been drinking distilled water or bottled water, even if you didn't use the charcoal filter, it's still going to be 1,000 times better than what you've been drinking out of the bottle. So it's up to you whether you want to buy these little filters, these replacement filters, or not. I'll leave links in the description for Amazon where you can get these. Try to find the best price and free shipping for you. Usually you get free shipping from Amazon if you spend $25 or $30 or more. You get the free shipping. So if you like this and you use these up and you're going to use it on a regular basis, you buy, I don't know how much they are. I honestly don't know how much any of the replacement parts are. But you buy a few of those. So all right, so let's fill this up. I'm going to go get some water. We'll fill that up. We'll put this on top, and we will. And then this is the lid for it. For here, I didn't even realize that. But we'll fill that up, and then we'll activate it, and I'll put it on a timer, and we'll see how long it takes. So you won't see it. It might take 3 hours, 4 hours. You won't see that, but I'll shorten the video, so we'll see what the timer says in the end. All right, so let me get some water. I'll be right back. We got the water, and we're ready to fill it. Just so you know, I used the hot water side of the faucet to fill this, so I use less energy to heat the water up. You use cold water, it's going to take more energy, and it's going to take a lot longer. I read in the reviews on Amazon, some people were saying, yeah, you're better off filling it up with hot water. It'll shorten the time by half or something like that to distill it. So you really save a lot of time doing that. So basically I filled that up, and we're going to fill that. Now I'm just trying to think if there's anything else, some of the other things I wanted to touch base with you on before I do this and start it up. Just so you notice, this doesn't have a start button, but it does have it's kind of like a start button. It's really the only thing it has is this reset button. That's how you start it. There's no on-off switch per se. It has an automatic temperature sensor that shuts it off. It's supposed to. So if you're filling it up and you walk away, you come back, let's say it only takes 3 hours to distill this pot, and you come back 5 hours later, it should shut off. Now, I have read in some of the Amazon reviews that some people found that in some cases that it doesn't shut off and it stays cooking like that, burning the stainless and everything on the inside. Now, I've heard some people complain about that. Does that happen in every single case? I'm not 100% sure. It could happen. It's a sensor is what it is, and these sensors are not 100% guaranteed to work 100% every single time. So what some people suggested is keep an eye on it. You make this much distilled water, you're going to be good for a while, folks. You're not going to be drinking that in an hour. Trust me, that's over a gallon of water right here. It could take you an entire day to consume that much distilled water. So you got enough here to keep you going for a while. All right, so just keep that in mind that this does have an automatic shut off, and if it happens to fail for any reason, it's going to keep burning. There's no way it shuts off. It's no guarantee that it can, and that goes for any distiller using any of these sensors. So keep that in mind. That could be a problem. Some people suggest stick around, distill about 3/4 of the water that's in there. Don't wait until it's fully distilled. Let it go down about 3/4 of the way. You're done. If you do that, if you let it only go down 3/4 of the way, cleaning it is a snap. There's nothing to cleaning it. It's when you dry that water out completely and let it go, and that sediment builds up on it. If you let it go to the automatic and it stays completely, that sediment will crust up, and you'll have to use that chemical over there right there. You'll have to use that stuff all the time to clean it on the inside. Whereas if you don't let it fully, you know, run out, it's easy on the unit. You're not, you know what I mean? Just fill it up all the way. Let it get down to about here, and then you're good to go. You can clean it out with just soap and water or whatever you want to do. It cleans out, no crust buildup. Now, I've read this from other reviewers. I've read a lot of stuff before I bought this unit, and this is about the best unit you can buy for the price that I paid for it. I forgot, I paid somewhere around $250 or $300 for it, compared to like buying commercial grade units and stuff like that. You don't need that. This is perfectly fine. This will give you, you can produce a gallon of water a day. There's no need to buy a commercial grade unit for anything else, you know. So let's put this together and start it up, and we got a little timer right here. We can start that off with that. All right, so the first thing we want to do is pour in our water. Yeah, a little bit might spill. Generally, you probably don't even want to fill it up that much, but there is a full line in there. You see right there where it says full? You want to bring it up to that. Now, I filled this pot only up to about here. So I guess if you fill it all the way to the very tippy top, it'll get you to that fill line. But I got to top it off just to make sure we're up to the full line. You want to make sure there's enough water in there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is put the top on. All you do at this point is put this on. There's no screws. It doesn't screw on. It just sits on top. I thought it screwed off when I was taking it off before. It just sits on top. There's nothing. That's it. It's very simple. Then you want to take, you could probably take this off if you want. Again, save all your packing material. And then you want to plug this in. You can't go wrong with this. One side is male, and then the other one for the cord that goes in the wall, that's female. And basically you just want to plug that in. Make sure you're firmly plugged in. Plug in your cord, and that's it. I plugged it in. The fan started, so it seems like it's running already, maybe because I hit the reset button. So it's up and running. Put your lid on it and let it fill that water container up. So alright, we'll start the timer. Alright, so we'll check that in a little while. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it here. So let's see how long it takes for the water to start generally steaming up. It might take an hour. I'm not going to sit here for an hour. I may do a follow-up video when I eventually have to clean it. But if I use the method like I explained earlier, by leaving some of the water in the pot, not having to distill every drop of it, it might be easy enough for me to just clean with a scouring pad, like some people were suggesting. It's just super simple and easy to do that way. Leave a little water in there. Don't let it fill up all the way. You know, take it out. You shut it down when the water's probably up to this rim here, or maybe a little lower. That's good enough for you. And if you want it, you clean it out again. You put in another batch of water, and you can make your full gallon if you're worried about it, you know. But it's better you do that than you having to buy these chemicals to clean it and go through all that extra work to have to clean it for nothing if you don't need to. If you can use this method and it works, it'll save you time, energy, and money, and you don't need to buy extra stuff like that. And so we'll do an update video down the road and see how that works. So far it's not warm. Alright, so I'm just going to come back to this in a couple hours or an hour or so. We'll check that, we'll see how it does. And maybe I'll give you some small updates on what it's doing as it's doing it. Alright, so see you in a while. Alright, so it took about 45 minutes. I just checked on it now. It says 56 minutes, but it took about 45 minutes before I started seeing some water building up inside of here. It's not real hot, so you don't have to worry about it, you know, putting a burning pot on top of your table or something like that. But you really can't put anything underneath this. You know what I mean? You could put a little piece of paper or something under it, but you really can't stick a pad or something underneath it because you really don't have the room between this and where it drips in. I am going to stop the timer because what's going to happen is this timer only goes for an hour, and then after that, I'm not going to know. I will tell you how long it took to distill this entire pot, but it shouldn't take more, from what I've read, it shouldn't take more than 2 to 3 hours max to be able to fill that pot up. Now again, I'm not filling it all the way because I'm only going to fill it to about here, and I'm going to shut it down and empty out the residual so I can wipe the inside down and clean it. I don't want to have to use the chemicals if I don't need to. So what we'll do now, from that point, we know it took 45 minutes, 50 minutes roughly. Now it's not really noisy, but you do have a fan blowing air, so that air is quite warm actually. It's actually heating up this room. Not a lot, but it's warm air. It's warming up the room. The tank is not really hot, but it's warm. It's warm. It's, you know, you ain't gonna burn you, in other words, but it is warm. And so far so good. I can't wait to try a glass of that water. I've been drinking distilled water in the plastic jugs. You know, I buy the gallons of it, and that water is absolutely. It's good. It's better than drinking any other water you can drink. That's all right. So even though it's going to taste like plastic, that's still better for you than the bottled water you're getting, unless you're going to buy like Perrier or the other bottled waters are real expensive waters, and even those waters aren't real clean. They're not real good water. That's water taken from local rivers, so that water is not really good for you. But I am going to talk a little bit about distilled water and why I recommend drinking distilled water. So I don't know, again, I don't know if I'm going to put that at the beginning of the video or at the end of the video, but I am going to talk about distilled water and why it's, in my opinion, good to drink distilled water and the effects I've been feeling from drinking distilled water since I've been drinking it. And there's some definitely noticeable differences between drinking distilled water and regular bottled water. Big differences. Physically, in your body, you feel differences. So I will talk about that. But anyway, we'll come back to this once it's done, and then I'll show you the timer, show you how long it took. Right now it's only going to go for another hour, so I'll check it in another hour. I'll clear it and run it again, and if it takes any longer, and then I'll give you roughly the total time that it took to do this. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so it's been roughly about 4.5 hours. It's been running. It's almost done. Again, like I told you, I'm not going to fill it up all the way because I want to leave some at the bottom. Sorry about the low light levels. It's already evening time and there's no sunlight, but I don't know if you can see this or what. You know, I can't tell with the timer. So it's been about 4.5 hours. That's complete time from when we started it till now. So it'll take you about 4.5 hours to make a gallon of distilled water. All right, so let's shut it off and then let's see what things look like on the inside. Okay, so keep in mind that it's still hot, so you want to let it kind of cool down a little bit before you start detaching everything. So there's no button to shut it off, so you have to unplug it from the wall. I don't know why it's like that. I think that's kind of stupid because, to be honest with you, I would set that up in my kitchen and just use it like an appliance and just run it and run it and run it, you know what I mean? Just leave it plugged in there and just turn a switch on and off. I don't know. I have no idea why they don't provide an on-off switch to the unit. I think that, again, that's kind of stupid and inconvenient for you to have to unplug it from the wall every single time you want to turn it on or off. Seems a little stupid to me. So, but in any case, you know, what are you going to do? You know, I've heard other people complain about that too. I've also read about that, and that is true. There's no button to turn it off. It'd be nice to just hit a button rather than having to plug it in all the time. I would imagine it's probably not boiling up anymore. So we'll unplug it here. Okay, that's all you got to do is just pull that off. It's still hot. This is real hot now. Keep that in mind. So it's still hot. Yeah, that's steamy. Whew. Yeah, I'd definitely let that cool down. I almost burned my hands just now. So that's definitely got to cool down before you even attempt to take this off of there. Don't take this off while that's still hot. I almost burned my hands just now. That steam came up and just cooked my fingers. Pretty good too. Got me pretty good. I mean, no hospital or nothing, but yeah, I just got burned a little bit from that. So I would say just leave it alone, let it cool down. We'll come back in a minute, and it'll be cool enough for me to come back and check to, you know, pull that top off and show you what the inside looks like. See if it built up any calcium, or we'll take a look at the inside. But yeah, wait with that. Don't pull it off right away. That steam's going to come out, hit your fingers, it's going to burn your hands. So don't pull this off right away. All right, so you just see me burn myself doing this review. So don't do what I do. Do as I say and not as I do, right? All right, so we'll be back. All right, so it finally cooled down a little bit now. And you just pop that off. And there is a warning on there. If you look right there, it does tell you, don't lift it up right away. You will get burned. And yes, you will get burned. All right, so let's take a look at the inside. Let's see how much detritus is left in there. And I know the light ain't too good in here, but we got a flashlight, so. You can see like some of the brown sediment in there, and you could kind of see it building up on the side a little bit. That's what it looks like. Now, I'll clean that after I'm done. You know, I'm not going to do it now. I just wanted to show you. I'm going to let this fully cool down, and then I'm going to clean it. I'm going to see if I could get it clean, basically, without having to use this. But I may have to use that. I don't know. We'll just leave that on there for now. And this is the end product. This is what we're left with. Now you can see there's, like I said, there's a little water in there. If you were to just let that thing cook all the way until that water's completely gone, you're going to have a hard time getting that sediment off the bottom. Right now it's probably pretty easy to get off with a scrubber. You know, you can scrub it pretty clean. But if you let that bake in there really hard, you're going to have a hard time getting it off. So definitely leave some water in there. Don't let it fully harden up like that. Let it cool down. And then, you know, just, you know, I could probably use some of this. You know, I could probably use this stuff here. This is what it came with. But if you could clean it by hand good enough, don't worry about it. Just clean it out and get it clean. You're not drinking all the material that's left in there anyway. You just don't want it to build up where you're going to have a hard time getting it out of there, period. You know, because once you distill water, none of that stuff is going to be in this water. This water is absolutely pure right now, 100% pure. I would probably say if I was to put a tester on it, I'd probably say it'd be like 0.02, 0.03. You're never going to get 100% pure. And besides those testers, do you see people doing those TDS testers? And they're sticking it in the water like that, and they're saying, oh, well, it's 0.02. Those testers are you know, out a little bit, anywhere between 0.05 in either direction. So you're never going to get 100% zero anyway. It's just, no matter what you do, those things kind of, they're out. So that's why I'm not using a TDS tester. I can tell you, though, that I know that this is distilled water, and it was charcoal filtered, and I'm not worried about it being, you know, too hard of water. Believe me, you removed 99.99% of contaminants in there. And then after the charcoal filtration, you can add a few more nines to that. But let's pour a glass and give it a taste. Now, I have over here as reference, just to show you, you know, this is the water I usually drink. I usually drink this in a jug, but this has a plastic taste to it. And it picks that plastic taste up right away because it's distilled water. Distilled water is like a sponge. So it absorbs everything in its environment. So it has like a plastic taste to it, which I really don't like, but this water tastes and makes you feel a lot better than any water you can possibly even think about drinking, like spring water over there. That's, you're better off drinking tap water almost, you know, it's almost just as bad. They do filter it, but that filtering it's ridiculous. I mean, they're just running it through a taste and odor filter, and that's pretty much, you know, the end of it. So this is mostly what I drink. I can drink one of these gallons in probably about 2 days. I'll drink up one of these gallons. So I do drink a lot of water. But this water here, I'm going to be drinking a lot more. I'm going to try to drink one of these a day. Let's pour ourselves a glass of water. Hopefully this isn't too dark for the camera. And let's give it a pour. That's pretty heavy now. You are holding a gallon. Now the water's cool. It's not warm. It's like about room temperature really right now. So you could just stick this in your refrigerator and you should be good. Let me see here. Just say something on here. Outlet. Oh, you know what you could do? I think you can turn this like that. You're always going to have a little opening here, so if you keep it in your fridge, I don't know, there's really no way to fully seal that off. But let's give this a taste test. Look at that. Now that is pure water. Now this came from my sink, and it's raw sink water. So that's just as bad as drinking raw sewage, basically. But let's see what this tastes like, and give it a go. So far I'm smelling it. There's no smell. There's no taste to it. It does have like a little bit of, it might be because the unit, this is the first run I did through the unit. They might have said in there to let the first 1 or 2 runs, you may want to dump those first 2. But it doesn't taste bad. It's just, it's a little on the warm side. I usually drink my water cold. It's weird. It doesn't have a taste. But it does have like a funny kind of effect on your tongue a little bit. I mean, this water is so pure, it's tingling my tongue. Wow, that is good. It like when I drink the other water, when I'm drinking this stuff, it has such a plastic taste that you have to learn to get used to drinking it. But when you drink this, there's no plastic taste. There's no aftertaste or anything. It's just it's I don't know if the ions change, like it goes from positive to negative on there or something. It's just a weird feeling in your mouth a little bit. But it's pure water. There's absolutely nothing in it. There's no solids. There's nothing. What you're looking at right here is cleaner than rainwater. All right? This is definitely cleaner than rainwater. Wow. I can get used to that really quick. How did that filter do? Here's the filter. I don't know if you're going to see that. I literally have no light in here. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I didn't know it was going to take this long, you know. Yeah, that's great water. I mean, if you never tried distilled water before, I would definitely say this is something you might want to consider. Since I've been drinking distilled water now for the last, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, I've been drinking distilled water on a regular basis. What I can tell you is when I drink distilled water, my energy levels actually go up. I don't know how to explain it any other way. It's just I don't feel sluggish. I feel energized. When I drink anything else, doesn't matter what it is, coffee, tea, regular water that's coming in a bottle. Well, this I actually feel good from this too. I feel pretty good from this too. But when I'm drinking, a lot of times when I don't have this available and I'm just drinking this water, or I'm drinking a lot of iced tea, or I'm drinking that water that you're getting in your coffee and your iced teas and stuff from the store, that's just regular carbonated, carbon filtered water. That's it. It's not pure in any way. So you're drinking basically city water. You're drinking whatever garbage is in that city water. And I drink a lot of iced tea, and I do like to have coffee once in a while in the morning. So unfortunately, there's a side effect to doing that because they're not purifying the water. They're not going to give you water at this level. So it really slugs you down. It really slows you down. It really makes you feel kind of sluggish. I don't know any other way to say it. You just feel sluggish. You feel like your energy's kind of drained. But when I drink distilled water, my energy levels, they feel like they boost upwards, you know what I mean? Definitely a noticeable difference between drinking this kind of water and drinking anything else. I don't care what it is you drink. Unless you're getting your moisture from your fruits and vegetables and you're not drinking any water, well, maybe you're doing okay that way, but not everybody does that. Most of us have to hydrate by drinking something, whether it's water, iced tea, whatever. So I'd like to drink a lot of liquids throughout the day, and I prefer to drink distilled water. Now, some people might say that distilled water, it leaches the minerals out of your bones and you become calcium deficient and all that. That's actually not true. What it does do is it takes the minerals out of your body that you're not going to use. See, you have to, in order for your body to absorb the minerals in this water, it has to be in a certain form, like chelated form or colloidal. It has to be in a colloid or a chelated form. Then your body actually uses those minerals. But the minerals you're getting in your tap water or spring water, those minerals are not chelated. A very small amount might be chelated, but most of what's in that water, that makes that water hard, is not absorbable by your body. So what ends up happening is these minerals build up in your body. You're basically filling your body up with unusable minerals. You could have as much as 3 or 4 pounds worth of minerals sitting inside your body of weight, literally, that is like, in the fibers of your liver and in your kidneys, and it's not being absorbed. It's actually turning into stone. That's how you end up with kidney stones. Gold stones, kidney stones, appendicitis, you get these stones that form in there. These stones are caused by minerals that your body cannot use. So you need to take in minerals that you can use, which are chelated forms of minerals or colloidal forms of minerals, or just add the minerals to your vegetables and your soil, and when your plants absorb those minerals, you're not going to be deficient. Okay, so you don't have to worry about becoming deficient. You're getting enough minerals in your food every day. You don't need this extra sediment that's coming out of your water, let alone all the other caustic stuff that's in there. There's a lot of other stuff in your water that's really caustic. I will go over that maybe in another video. But you got fluorosilicic acid, which is fluoride. You got several forms of that. You have phosphates, you got ammonium, you got chlorine, you got chloramines. You got all these different things that are in water on top of the minerals that you're taking in. It's going to build up in your liver and your kidneys, and eventually these organs fail because of these reasons. But if you drink this water, this pure water, distilled water, what it does is it absorbs these nasty minerals that you can't get rid of any other way. It's like when you're drinking city water, that's like cement lining your organs. You're calcifying your body. You're basically turning into a stone because it's like cement. You're turning into a cement pile, and you need to get that out of your body. When you drink distilled water, first thing, the reason why you're starting to feel like you're energetic is it's like a sponge. It absorbs everything. It absorbs toxins. It absorbs the minerals out of your body. If you were to leave water inside this container for like 1,000 years, it will actually absorb this glass. It's so absorbent. They call it the universal solvent. Water is considered a universal solvent, meaning it'll absorb anything it comes into contact with, including the plastic in those containers and those drinking containers that you drink out of. That's why you want to keep it in glass. It's the lowest thing that it's going to absorb. But I'm just saying, realistically, it would take thousands of years, but it would eventually absorb this glass and to stabilize, because water is like a sponge, so it has a saturation point. So like you can do an experiment where you take a cup of water and you keep adding sugar to it and keep stirring it around, you'll see it'll absorb the sugar. Well, at some point, it's not going to absorb the sugar. The sugar crystals will just start building up on the bottom of the cup. Okay, so that right there is its saturation point. Once it reaches its saturation point, water doesn't absorb anything anymore. So what it wants to do now is start giving off things. So this water could be, you know, when it's from the sink, it could be hard water and have all that stuff in it. It's not doing your body any good. It's not absorbing the nasty toxins in you that you need to get out of your body through your kidneys and your liver, and you're not going to get them out of your body by drinking city water or anything else. The way you remove toxins from your body is by drinking purified water, because it will absorb all these things, and then it gets it out. As it's passing through your liver and your kidneys, it's absorbing out of that too. And then it passes through you, and next thing you know, after a long enough period of time, you're going to really detoxify your body. Now, how much water should you drink every day? I don't know. Do some research on it. There's actually, I'll leave some links in the description for like some of the books that I've read about distilled water, and it's called The Water Cure, and how distilled water actually works in the body, and all this stuff about it. And when you start drinking distilled water, you're gonna feel an effect right away. I can get into a lot of detail if you're really interested in really knowing a lot more about water. I can really do a whole video about water itself, and you know, I'll cover distilled water and the difference between RO water, deionized water, filtered water, all of those things. I can cover all the different aspects of water that you would have available for you, and I can tell you why I'm choosing distilled water 100% over any of the other ones if you understood them enough. But you may not understand it and how it works. So if you're really interested in how water works, the different filtration methods, what kind of water should you drink, and this and that, what is these, you know, different types of water, and I'll go over that if you're interested in it. We can touch base on that. I'm just giving you an idea, you know, of you know, why I use distilled water and why I purchased this unit. I mean, I looked around at a lot of water distillers. You can buy like a commercial grade distiller for thousands of dollars. That's absolutely ridiculous. You don't need that. This is a perfect size unit to make a gallon of water per day, which is about all you need per day. If you can drink one of these every day, you're meeting your maximum usage of water anyway. You're getting more water than you probably need. So this is plenty good. You just run that once a day. It takes about 5 hours, and it's worth it. But definitely, if you're interested in you know, looking into distilled water, definitely look into this unit. You can look at other units online. You can check them out. But I'll leave a link in the description for Amazon where I bought this particular unit. And definitely at least look into it. And they come in different, you know, you can get them white and stuff like that. But definitely look into just drinking distilled water in general. Whether you buy this unit or you just want to buy these gallon jugs of water, you can do that for now. That's a cheap way out. But that, even though this is a cheap way out, that's better for you than drinking anything else. Even though it tastes like plastic, and it probably has all the plasticizers in it from absorbing all that, the plastic from it, it's still better for you than drinking that or anything else. It's just, there's so many minerals. You don't realize how bad those minerals are for you when you can't absorb them. You're just filling your body up with sand, basically. You're going to eventually start getting kidney stones and gallstones. You're going to start getting, things aren't going to work right. Once you start drinking water and you start to pull all those things out of your body, all those toxins that you know that build up in you, and the minerals that you're not going to use, and you start getting that stuff out of your body, you're going to start feeling a big difference. I believe me when I tell you, I totally feel a big difference when I drink this water. I don't know, it's a very strange effect that you get from it. You have to try it for yourself. This kind of distilled water is superior to that. That is okay. You will notice a difference with this kind of water, but this, you're really going to know. My mouth is tingling a little bit from drinking this. It's so pure. This water is probably 10%, 20% purer than that distilled water, because that's been absorbing stuff around it and all. This just came straight out of the machine. This is as pure as you're going to get. So I mean, I don't know what else to say about the review on this thing. I just kind of wanted to do an unboxing for you. But definitely give it a go. I highly recommend looking into distilled water and drinking it for yourself. And don't forget to check this unit out on Amazon. And maybe in the future I'll offer that on my website if you know, if I could get some coupons or deals for my viewers. I'll try to get you a deal on it, and I'll offer that in the future for my subscribers. All right, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.